Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Brian James and this channel is basically about my chevron. So this is every couple of weeks I'll do an update on what I've done to my car, and so you can follow the progress of the build. So if you watch previous episodes you'll see it coming along averagely slowly, but we get there in the end. So I'm just going to explain what I've done in the past couple of weeks and what's going to be coming up in further episodes. So, straight on to it. Last couple of weeks we've been working quite well. So I was going to do an unboxing. Unfortunately, I couldn't help myself. I had to open it up and put it on the car anyway. So we're not doing an unboxing, but what I did buy for the car was these Brooklyn windows. The company I used is a couple of companies, Vintage Car Parts or SVC. Now I would suggest if you ever need Brooklyn's windows, these are the guys you want to use. They are the cheapest I found on the internet. The postage was incredibly fast and has always been exceptionally accurate. So 2 weeks it took to get from England to New Zealand, no problems with customs or anything. I did choose the square ones as opposed to the round ones. My other chevron has the round ones, so if I don't particularly like them, I can just swap them over. It's really simple. They're exactly the same in the base. I have mounted them not directly to the scuttle panel because it's only fiberglass and I want a bit more integral strength, so I did create this bar to go across it. Now I could have done something a lot nicer and followed the scuttle panel, but this is really easy for me to do. Right, moving on to other things. I have completely carpeted the car now. So this is a marine carpet. It's designed to get wet and dry out fairly quickly. It won't rot, which is one of the reasons why I've used it. I've added teak decking around the back end. It predominantly is to raise the back end so it's level with the roll cage. If you remember, I had to use this roll cage and pack it up a little bit so it cleared the top of my head. And so what I wanted was just to hide the fact that I've used packers when we put the cover over it. Also, it put a nice radius on the edge there so it won't bite into the tawny cover when eventually I get it made and put on. We have started wiring, so I have positioned the wiring for the Gorilla Whip. Now I've chosen to use the Wi-Fi one as opposed to just the standard cable. We'll see how that goes when eventually it gets wired up. Excuse me. And another reason I used to pack up the wood was the fuel line come to just on the level of the back cover, so that fuel line would have rubbed on the back cover and probably rubbed through it. Now it completely misses it. Perfect. Also we've got the sign writing done. You'll see that I've chosen to match the sign writing with the silver pinstriping over the orange, and on the back we've got just the silver, which pops quite nicely onto the matte black. Right, moving forward a little bit, I created a cover, so we'll have a leather boot going over the shifter, and that will just bolt it down. So I made that out of aluminium, polished it up. We've put the bonnet locks on now. Now I've chosen to go for these rubber style bonnet locks. It's nothing fancy, but it's very functional, very easy, and doesn't usually give you any problems. Once we lift the bonnet. So one of the other things I got when I bought these Brooklyn's screens was I got another layer of felt. So the last layer of felt I got was a little bit too high and it let the bonnet sit up. So I've got quite a nice thin one now. So it'll stop the rubbing and it'll allow the bonnet to sit flush. As we look into the bonnet, the carburetor and the fuel system's all fully sorted now. I've got the exhaust on and wrapped, plus the muffler. We'll come around the other side and take a look at that in a second. I've positioned the battery onto the chassis. Now, once again, I've positioned the weight low to help it in the handling, and it's still behind the centre line of the front wheels. I didn't want it up the back here. The battery's too big for it anyway, but that position's quite high and very snug. Whereas if we look down here, there's heaps of room. So, I'll just pop that down. As you can see what I mean by it ends up being a lot more flush. And if we come around, you can see the exhaust is all fully on now and wrapped. And I've used stainless steel ties to wrap the exhaust, so I shouldn't have any problems with that. So that's what I have done. It includes also, I'll put on one side, started doing the upholstery side of things. So instead of just sitting your arm on bare steel, I've got the old pads. I've still got to do this side, so eventually we'll get onto that. Right, so that's what I have done. What's coming up in the next couple of weeks is I'll have the Sparky come in and completely rewire the whole car. Once the Sparky's done his job, I can fettle a few bits and pieces. We've still got to put the alternator on. I've got to make some bolts for that. I could buy them. It's probably easier for me just to make them. And we can start looking at getting it started for the first time. I've still got to do the radiator connection. As you see, I've started, but I'm not happy with what I've done so far. So I've put the line in, but I really don't like it. So what I'm looking at is a 45 degree coming off here and there. We'll just have a straight line. And also I've got one that's going to come down over underneath the car there and connect up with the bottom of the radiator. So over the next week or so, that's what's got to be done. And so with any luck, we will have the car next time you come in ready to be started. Can't wait. Once we get the electrical side done, I can create the floor, we can rivet the floor in, we can get the upholstery done, and that's the car done to a point. Hey look, if you like what you see, please hit subscribe, like, and by all means, please share this. Once again, I want people, as many people as possible, to get into these cars. They're cheap, they're not very expensive, and they are a hell of a lot of fun. And we're all about having a bit of fun. In fact, today it's a winter's day here in New Zealand, blue skies. I was out in the other Chevron taking a drive. Absolutely bliss. Hey guys, you have a good day. See you later.